Good afternoon, Jupiter Christian School. If you can hear me, can you just give me a thumbs up? Excellent. Thank you very much. Well, good afternoon. My name is Seth Cohen, and it's good to connect here on this town hall from, I'm still in Santiago, Dominican Republic, but my wife, Ann, my two daughters who will be students at JCS next year, we're looking forward to our move to Jupiter. We are in the process of buying a house and moving all of our stuff, and can't wait to be officially Floridians. Today I want to just give you an update on JCS for next year. Jupiter Christian School is planning an on-campus education starting August 12th. This is not new information. We've announced that before, but today we want to give you more information. And we know that we're not going to be able to answer all of your questions, so you'll still have an opportunity to ask questions, and there'll be follow-up meetings that will follow today's town hall meeting. In this opening slide, we cannot promise to be COVID-free, but we can promise to be COVID-safe. And we pledge to do everything in our power to provide a safe campus, but maintain an education that's rooted in relationships, which makes the JCS education special. And this has required really great planning. We've had a task force, a large group that has been working, staff, teachers, parents, even students, working in different groups to ensure that JCS is ready to open and thrive. And when I'm done speaking, Jacob Godinho, who heads up our operations, and then Susan Rivera, who's not only our elementary teacher, but will also function as our chief academic officer next year, they will be providing more information for you during our session today. Before I turn it over to Jacob, I want to share with you our school theme for next year. It's Christ, our hope. And our verses are from Hebrews chapter 10, 23 and 24. And this is what it says. Let us hold fast to the confession of our hope without wavering, for he who promised is faithful. And let us consider how to stir up one another to love and good works. I want to highlight just two quick things here in Christ, our hope. One, we hold to the promises of one who is faithful. He is faithful always, and we can hold to those promises. And from those promises, let us consider how we can stir up one another to love and good works. As we begin this next school year, I call on all of us, the JCS community, to come back to school with a spirit of flexibility, of being charitable, gracious, and grateful for all that God has done and will do. And whatever we face with this pandemic, we will be ready, rooted in Christ. Our hope is in him, and we will do this together as a community, as a family. And so for more details on how we're going to do this, I turn it over to Jacob Godinho, who's going to take it from here.
Hi, everyone. Thanks for joining us this evening. Wanted to open up and give some details as to coming back August 12th. So premise and posture, I really want everybody to understand that it's our desire to be 100% on campus, on site, to be as normal as possible, as we can. And we started these plans at a very high level, and we have these plans scaled up, and Lord willing, we're going to go with what is happening from our government and following CDC as well, to hopefully be able to scale them down as needed. And you will receive more communication throughout the summer if any changes are made as we go along. These are our operating guidelines. We've tried to match these as closely as we can to the Florida phases. You can see in the red that was the stay-at-home order that we received, and those were the the levels that we went with and how we implemented those key items there. So we hope to be in the green, phase 3, as quickly as possible, again, with following guidelines and being as safe as possible. So talk a little bit about our East Campus. Each campus is a little different. East Campus, we have to follow child care laws and the DCF requirements. So the operation on East Campus is always going to be a little different. So they require a specific solution that we have to use to disinfect our areas, and we purchase that solution in order to be effective and to disinfect 4 times a day. Now, I want to be clear that we're going to be disinfecting every room that is used, the surfaces 3 times a day, and that 4th time is overnight, where it'll be a really in-depth cleaning, a real deep clean. So we've done things like purchase large 2-gallon solution sprayers to be able to quickly and effectively maneuver around campus to disinfect as quickly as possible. And so we will be operating with our East Campus license definitely for pre-K 2 through 4 for parents who are essential workers if we indeed have to ever go back to a stay-at-home order. And now I will turn it over to Susan Rivera, who will represent our academic piece and kind of go over how we're going to deliver education specifically.
Got it. Thank you for joining us tonight. So as we continue to partner with you in educating the mind, reaching the heart, and inspiring servant leadership during these uncertain times, JCS remains committed to excellence. We understand the importance of being able to move nimbly between each of the phases of operating guidelines that Jacob just shared, and we're planning to do so as seamlessly as possible. We can achieve this through extensive planning, student training on school-adopted technology platforms, professional development for our faculty and staff, and adhering to the operational guidelines as we move back and forth receiving more information. 3 basic scenarios have been established to respond to these various phases of operation. As we recognize the reopening of our state, we're looking forward to planning and being back on campus in August. Scenario 1 is with 100% on-site school capacity with specific traffic patterns, minimized shared equipment, increased sanitation protocols, educating students on healthy hygiene practices such as frequent hand washing and covering coughs and sneezes, as well as screening upon arrival and regular symptom monitoring. During this phase, students will also be trained to use the school-adopted platforms. In scenario 2, we would enact this when recommendations are made to operate on a higher level of concern with significant proactive measures. This would include reducing the percentage of capacity at any given time on our campus. This scenario supports a blend of face-to-face instruction on campus as well as digital learning from home using technology platforms that the students will already be accustomed to using. This allows for flexible times for support, enrichment, community, and family engagement. As we would move towards scenario 3, this would be extreme, and we would only move in this way if we were mandated to stay home as we have in the past. This would be what we'll call distance learning 2.0. And the 2.0 plan strives to create a culture of consistency and inquiry that allows us to move smoothly together between environments and maintain a high quality learning educational experience through a blended learning model. This distance learning 2.0 plan has several benefits. We have sought to streamline the use of our technology platforms, including Plus Portal, Office 365, and Seesaw, wherever appropriate for a particular grade level or division. The 2.0 plan also provides a consistent schedule for synchronous learning at a minimum of 3 times a week, with a balance of on-screen instruction time and independent work time with regular breaks. Regular and timely feedback. Additionally, this particular plan allows us to individualize and provide flexible instruction and learning for students, and also provides consistent student and family support. And the 2.0 learning plan adjustments came widely by your recommendations and feedback we received from you through the surveys that we sent out. And so I wanted to thank you for your feedback. It was very helpful as we moved forward in creating this 2.0 plan to improve should we have to move to distance learning again. But as we plan to be back 100% in August, I wanted to just share with you that principals are planning rigorous schedules to minimize traffic patterns as well as cross-contamination. And as those schedules are complete, they will be shared with you in a similar way that we would normally share schedules for next year. We will create stable groups for recess that allow breaks in between for regular disinfecting. Additionally, we'll have some markers that would help little ones be able to follow those traffic patterns and keep things moving in one direction and on one side. Regardless of the scenario that we're in, JCS will continue to focus on educating the whole child, academically, physically, looking at their spiritual, social, emotional well-being, as well as providing family supports. We additionally will look for ways to continue to maximize the relationships that make a JCS experience so special. We are committed to educating students in a nurturing environment to excel in life and inspire servant leadership to deliver our JCS promise. And now Jake Godinho will speak on summer programs.
So for summer camps this year, it's really important that we do these well and that we do these with excellence. So I really wanted to thank the athletic department, who's really intricate in helping us figure out these summer camps and how we can best do them. So one thing, again, we're practicing our 4 times a day of disinfecting surfaces and areas that are frequently visited, as well as deep cleaning each night, Monday through Friday. So that campus will be clean when everybody arrives and clean throughout the day. One of the things that we wanted to focus on too, that while we're doing these temperature checks for summer camps, we are going to do those temperature checks in the car, so that if, we're being mindful of students, that they won't feel singled out and that they do have a temperature and they're showing some symptoms, that they will not be permitted and they can simply drive off. So we're trying to be mindful of how our campers would feel as well. And you're going to see and hear that guidelines that I'll talk a little bit more about the enhanced clinic guidelines, but campers have to be 48 hours symptom-free before they return to camp. So that's just an extra safety precaution from 24 hours that we already had established. No campers with a fever above 99.9 will be permitted to attend the camp. So from our task force, we took some practical enhancements around our grounds at both campuses. So one of the things that we wanted to look at was the reduction of touch. So having our doors at the top of stairwells, the bottom of the stairwell, that don't compromise our security, but those doors that are shared and frequently walked through, we'll have them propped open throughout the day. So that just limits touch points and allows for free-flowing traffic and quickly back to their classrooms and to their space. We have plexiglass shields that we'll be installing at all the front desks, similar to what you see at your local grocery stores. Signs around campus. We've enhanced our filters to really trap any of that bacteria that is present in the air. We're going to look at the locker usage and really space that out, maybe do every other locker per grade so that we're not having clusters at a break at the locker. So again, those clinic enhancements, we're using 48 hours. You have to be symptom-free for 48 hours to return to school, not 24. And again, that 99.9 fever mark is what we're going to hold to during the school year. So how did we arrive at these conclusions? We took this CDC model and we consulted over 50 different schools around the world, not just the United States, not just in Florida, everywhere. So we're able to answer yes to all of these questions. And we had the task force formed in order to make sure that we could indeed answer all these questions and open up safely. So one of the questions that we have gotten from parents and feedback is what happens when we do have a positive case, if we do have a positive case. So this is similar, and the example that I've been using is if you watch the movies and you have the crime scene and the local police are there, and you always see the FBI agent come in and say, I'm taking over the case. That's how the health department would work, that they will help us communicate, identify, and help us do some contact tracing to help do the best thing for our community. And we will be, they are very qualified professionals, and we will be holding up to whatever standards they put in place. So at each campus, again, I alluded to at East Campus, we have the child care solution that falls under that DCF requirement, child care license, disinfecting 4 times a day, 9, 12, 3:30, and overnight. We wiped out Home Depot this week for spray bottles that we can use and build this solution into. So every single room and every single teacher will have an independent spray bottle if they need it, even aside from what our maintenance crew will have. At West Campus, we are using a EPA certified solution, and that same 2-gallon sprayer will be used. We have 3, so we'll be able to use them at each campus simultaneously. So already you've seen in our cafeterias, we have tables that support children with allergies. So our students understand at some level, and have already been trained about food safety. So these type of things will be in place, washing our hands before and after, being mindful, not sharing our food, and really maximizing the spacing in our classrooms. So our classrooms will be staged to maximize the space, and teachers will be mindful in practicing, if I don't need to invade the personal space, I won't, right? So teachers will be mindful in that area. We have mobile hand sanitizers in place. We have over 20 different locations on our campuses with hand sanitizer stations that are touchless, and we have stands that we can move throughout campus, and we have a stockpile of Purell and other machines that we can quickly deploy whenever we need to around campus. We are working through a plan that would allow any of our immunocompromised students, faculty, or staff to be engaged with us in a learning and safe and comfortable way. And again, how are we going to deliver that education at each level that's appropriate for each level? We are working through a plan, and we will have that out to everyone hopefully soon. So again, lunchtime, we're not going to be operating in the cafeteria as of right now, and I just want to be totally upfront that we want to return to normal as possible with our cafeteria functioning, again, just as safe as possible. So for right now, students will eat in their classrooms, and one of the key things here is we're toying with how we can get food and do it safely if somebody chooses to order, but ordering out for individual students is prohibited. So having our lunchtime influx with people from the outside, from Grubhub, from DoorDash, we don't want that, and we will instead try to think of a good solution for you all to still get lunch how you want it. So our athletics department, again, they've developed great administrative reputation in our area, have a great history, and they've already been engaged from the beginning, way back in March at the local district and state level, and then we started to engage nationwide. So we're following the National Federation of High School Sports and their return to play protocols, and we are going to adhere to that throughout the school year. So practices, what we think how practices will look like, that they will begin to happen in stages with safety in place. And we're really happy to announce that we've installed 2 state-of-the-art pixel app cameras in the gym and out on the field. So we're prepared for any scenario for the games to still be streamed, for you to still be able to see your children play, and also to provide a platform for those who are out of state or far away, that now they can watch all of our games live that take place in the gym and out on the field. So visitors during school hours, we're not going to allow parents on campus. If you do have a meeting with a teacher or a principal, it's going to be approved by the principal, and you will be screened and escorted into that room for the meeting. This is temporary. Again, this will be evaluated month by month when we reopen. Only essential vendors will be permitted on campus. If the air unit for some reason goes out, we're not going to sit there in 85 degrees. I'm going to have the air conditioner repair guy come in, but he will also be screened. So we will move all of our vendors to after hours, where there is not a lot of heavy traffic present on campus. So we've looked at how we can improve our air filtration and temperature control, specifically at our West Campus. We've looked at expanding our clean outside air intake, which is going to be helpful. And already at East Campus, the filters there are fantastic, and we started to use them over here at West Campus as well. So following this, if there are any additional questions or concerns that you have, there is a link that has already been sent into your email that you provided the school. But you can go to our website and go to About Us and then Contact Us, and you're going to see a questionnaire. Please fill that out if you have any additional questions that were not addressed here. We're going to look at those, and then principals will get back to you with a clear answer. So if you could, you put your name, the grade level that you represent, and the best email to get in contact with you. So that link should be in your personal emails that you provided the school, or you can go to our website and you will see the link there. Now I'm going to pass it on to Dr. Cohen to close us out.
Well, thank you for joining us this afternoon. I know we've answered some questions, and we've probably created even more questions that you have. And so please submit your questions. This town hall meeting will be followed up by the principals for the East Campus, for the lower school and the upper school. They will follow up with parents to continue to answer questions and to communicate with you as we get closer to August 12th. Again, I want to encourage you to stay engaged with us as we look at making the school year as normal as possible and as safe as possible. And your feedback is critical, so don't hesitate to contact us. I plan on having office hours in July and August, and I will be setting aside hours where I will be hosting meetings, hopefully with safe distancing in my office or in another room at school, or maybe through Zoom, where I can engage parents, begin to get to know you, hear about your hopes and dreams for your children. And I'm humbled and really looking forward to being the next president at Jupiter Christian School. And I want to thank you for entrusting what is really most precious in your life, your children, to us. We take it very seriously that you would entrust your children to Jupiter Christian School. And so we pledge to make this school year as safe and as effective as possible. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May the Lord make his face to shine upon you and be gracious unto you. The Lord lift up his face upon you and give you his peace. Good night.